Hey everyone, how's everybody doing? This is Give Live, and we are on Facebook now. This is exciting. Welcome. This is our new Give Live webinar. I'm Matt Cromwell. I'm head of support at GiveWP.com. And today we are going to talk about leveling up your nonprofit website with best practices with shortcodes. With our shortcode plugin, our being able to show our form grid and give totals and all kinds of new stuff that we have with our builder. These are new features that we released in Give 2.1, and maybe you've already tried some of them out. They're exciting things, and I just want to be able to highlight them and show some of the secret hidden things that are in there that will help you to leverage these shortcodes to your best ability. They're a lot of fun. And they're going to be fun to show live, and hopefully I don't make any mistakes. So if you're here and watching, give us a wave and let us know you're here. We are going to take questions from anybody who's watching, and I'll be able to try to show whatever I can for you live here. So get ready for your comments. You can comment at any time you like, and I'll be able to show them up on the screen and address them one by one as they come in. But if you are new to our Give Live webinar, this is Give Live. It's a free monthly webinar where we discuss all things related to online donations, to WordPress, and how Give enhances all of the above, essentially. Last year, we hosted this on YouTube. But this year, we decided we were going to try out Facebook. So if you are a Facebook and Give user, then you're going to want to watch for these things. There's a couple nice tricks to getting notifications, though. When we announce a new Give Live, you're going to see a post on our site, on our page, that looks a little bit like this. And you can see that nice big Get Reminder button. You're going to want to click on that so that Facebook will give you the heads up about the episode and how we're going live and when we're going live. And if you don't already like our Facebook page, you're going to want to do that as well. And there, you can actually have some options. For example, you can click on that following button, and you'll be able to choose when you see those notifications. You can see those first. They would be the first things that show up on your newsfeed, or you can just use it you can set it as the default, which will mean it will show up on your newsfeed just like normal, like everything else. You can also choose what kind of notifications you want to see, but those notifications are really useful because we push out a lot of really great and useful content all the time, and being able to get notified of it directly in Facebook is really useful. So head over to our page. It's facebook.com/WPGive, and you'll be able to set those options right there. Hope everyone's doing well. I want to jump straight into making this happen, to showing you some great stuff. Here with my local development site. This is where I have Give working, and it will be able to show you how we use this shortcode and how we do some nice things overall with Give. Let me make it large. There we go. All right, here we go. We're going to show off the Give grid first, because that's the fun, exciting feature that everybody's always looking for. We have a blog article that we wrote all about it with lots of details, and we will add that link to that blog article in the comments below so you can follow it and read it as you like. But essentially, just like all of our other shortcodes, what we have is a Give shortcode builder. Where that makes it really easy for you to insert that shortcode anywhere on your WordPress website, wherever you find an editor, traditional editor. And so on here in the Give shortcode builder, we go over till we find donation form grid. Once we choose that, we'll see a pop-up come up, and it will allow you to select these different options here. And the first one that you notice is it's going to ask you, well, which forms do you actually want to see here? And here you have the option to choose which form IDs you can show. In this case, you're going to want to get that form ID from your Give Forms page. So let's head over there. We're going to go to Donations, All Forms. And here are all of my different donation forms. And you can see that they all have goals enabled. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. They'll have goals. They all have some, most of them have some donations on them. But you can see I have a little bit of a theme going on here. I'm kind of a Star Wars guy, so we have a Star Wars theme going here. And let's say that I just want to show Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Luke Skywalker. I want to get the IDs of each of those. Here in the shortcode screen, I'm zoomed in, so you can't see it very well, actually. But typically, you just can see that ID right there. So Han Solo, you could see, is ID number 19. Princess Leia is ID 33. And Luke Skywalker is ID 84. 19, 33, 84. So I'm going to head over here, and I'm going to type them in with a comma separating each. 19, 33, 84. Those are the ones I want to see. Then I have a column section where I can choose how I want this grid to appear. And generally speaking, I think 9.9 times out of 10, best fit is going to be the best thing that you choose. You really don't need to choose these other ones because best fit really is going to do it for you every time. Now, occasionally, maybe you have 5 donation forms and it's going to show it as 3 and then 2, and maybe you don't like that. You might be able to choose that. You might be able to adjust that in different ways. Maybe you want it to always only be 2, 2, 1. And then you can choose, in that case, 2 columns to force that effect. But generally, the way we've built this is to make sure that those form tiles essentially are going to fit in the available space in your post the best way every time, and it will adjust no matter what's going on. And so best fit really is intended to be the best option for you. Now we're going to choose whether we want to show the goal, or we're going to say show, and we can show the excerpt, and I'm going to say show. I like excerpts a lot. Featured images really make a grid look really great, so we're going to set that to show. Display style, we have different options here. This is really about the functionality of what happens when the donor clicks on one of the form grid tiles. Are they going to be redirected to the form directly, to the new form page, or are they going to have that form pop up in a modal? For our sakes, I'm going to choose modal because when they click on it, I want to see that form show up right there on the page. The modal option is really great because let's say you have 12 forms on the page. Well, having them click through and then having to go back to a different form or whatever, that makes it difficult. But here you can have 12 different donation forms that are executable, that you can actually take donations from directly on that one page. And it looks awesome too. This is in case you have a lot of forms and you're going to need pagination. If you have, let's say, 24 forms that you want to show in this grid, you're going to want to say how many forms are going to appear per grid page, essentially, before the pagination starts to kick in. In this case, it doesn't really matter because we're only going to show 3 right now. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And then we just hit Insert Shortcode. And you'll see that that shortcode is populated right there into my editor with all of those attributes already pre-selected for me. If I had to go and type those in individually, there's a high likelihood that I would most likely mistype something and then the shortcode wouldn't work correctly. So that's never quite so fun. That's what makes the shortcode builder really, really powerful and helpful, is being able to just fill out that form and it inserts this shortcode for us automatically. So let's go ahead. Let's change this to become a Jedi. Let's do that. And we're going to update the page. All right. It's updated, and now we will check out that page and see our form grid. All right, become a Jedi, and you can see it's 3 forms, and it set it automatically to fill the available width as 2 and 1. All right, that works. And you can see we have our featured image. we can see you have the name of the form. Here's the excerpt of the form. Here's our goal. Princess Leia is all set. Han Solo has a ways to go still. Everything is here. When you hover over it, you can see it does this little slight highlight effect, which is nice. And if we click on it, see Princess Leia, she's all set. It's closed. It shows that the form is closed because we chose to close the form once that we've achieved the goal. So there it is. Luke Skywalker, he's not closed. So we see his goal still is there. We're in test mode right now. We see our option to give different amounts. If I want to give 57, that's cool. And we have our different gateways, our name. Here's our credit card field, our agree to terms, which is great for GDPR stuff. And we can donate now right away, right here on this page. Great. So let's say, like I said, and if I change the zoom, you can see how it automatically adjusts. Now there's enough space here for 3. I zoomed out, and now there's enough space for 3. When we're at 100%, not zoomed in like we were before, now we fit 3 grids, 3 tiles here within this available space. Really nice. And we can force that, like I said, with that column setting. Change that column setting over here. We'll zoom in again. You could see that it's set here. Actually, best fit is the default, so it doesn't even show up here like that. But you could set it to columns equals. If we set it to 2, then it's going to force it. Let's check that out real quick. Update. It's taking its time. There we go. Now we'll refresh. We're zoomed in here again. There we go. It's refreshed. If we zoom out back to 100%, you could see that it stays at 2 columns no matter what the width of the screen is. It's forced to 2 columns. And that was the intention, right? But like I said, I really like the best fit because it's going to adjust no matter what the screen size is. That's really useful. So like I said, we can see here each form pops up on its own. And if we like instead, we can go over here and change the style to go to as a redirect. It will instead go to the individual page instead. So there's a couple things here that are a little bit not quite so obvious. For example, we can see that our excerpt is getting cut off on some of these, if you notice. And I don't really love that all so much. What's great is that there's actually a bit more options you have with this shortcode than what is presented in the builder. You just have to know where to find it. And we're going to paste this link in the comments, and this is the documentation that goes to where you can learn about all of our shortcodes. And there you'll see the give form grid shortcode as well. And it shows you exactly what additional arguments we have with the shortcodes. This is the give form grid shortcode documentation page. You can see it in action here. And it shows you the options that are available in the builder. But then down here, additional shortcode attributes. There are these additional attributes where you can choose additional things and add them straight into your shortcode to change the functionality of that shortcode. For example, like I was just talking about, excerpt length. The default for that value right now is 16. But clearly, 16 words is not enough for our excerpts. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to add excerpt length equals, let's try 25. Update. All right. And come over here, refresh. And there we go. You can see that it's longer now. It's 25 words instead of the 16. That's great. It's still not quite long enough. So let's go ahead and change that to 40. See what happens. The other thing that's great about this is that the card, the tile, is able to adapt no matter how long the excerpt length is. You can see that this one is only 3 lines long, and these ones are going to get longer than that. We try to keep it so that they all adjust accordingly. You see here, this one is now 4 lines long, but this one is 5 lines long, but the height of the card is still the same. It's really some CSS magicry happening there. It's really great. You don't have to worry about the appearance of your grid, regardless of how long your excerpts are. So this is great. Everybody happy? Definitely send in some comments if you have any questions at all, and I will do my best to respond to them. Just comment right there on the Facebook page, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Let me show you a couple other things of these hidden shortcode attributes. One of my favorites, as you saw on my donation form, I'm actually using a category. I have a bunch of different characters from Star Wars on here, and some of them are on the light side, and some of them are on the dark side. And I have been playing with the categories, so I call them bad guys instead of dark side. But what we can do is we can also just show all of the forms that are in one particular category. That is in the documentation also. So additional shortcode attributes, one of them is cats, which is short for categories, not actually cats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get the ID of the category, head over to my categories. And I will say one thing that's a little bit of a downside with WordPress in general is it doesn't show IDs very well. It doesn't show them very easily or intuitively. So right now, you can see there's no ID here anywhere. The easiest way I find to get an ID of a category like this is to just hover over the edit screen. You can't see that very well on this tiny screen right now. But if you hover over the category and you hover over the edit link, down at the very bottom, you'll see where it leads to. And it'll say tag ID equals, in this case, bad guys are 7. And then on this other one, you can see, you probably can't see, but I could see that it says tag ID equals 6. So our category IDs in this case are 6 and 7. So I'm going to head back over here. And then if we're going to show by categories, we don't actually even need the IDs at all. So I'm just going to replace those and say cat equals 6 and 7. We're going to update. I'm going to zoom to 100 again. Are we still showing the columns? I wanted the best fit. Let's see. Excerpt columns. Yeah, let's pull the columns out. Hit again. And let's refresh. There we are. They're all here. Become a Jedi. Here's those bad guys. Here's the good guys. And they're all here. And it's in a best fit grid. Looking great. The goals are there. Those bad guys are not doing well on their donations. They got to do some PR, I think. A couple of the good guys are a little low too. So that's all there. But we know that the best thing about categories is being able to separate things out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this whole shortcode. I'm going to copy it. Oops. Copy. I'm going to say light side, make that H2, and then dark side, paste that in there. Anybody remember which one was which? Let's see. Bad guys are 7. All right. Kind of backwards in this way. Let's see. Dark side is 7. Light side is 6. Make that an H2. Like that. There we go. Now they're separated. So I should see just the good guys up here, bad guys down here. Update the screen. And refresh the page. Oh, I did it backwards. I did something wrong. Ha ha ha. All right. Let's check this out. Oh, I think I said cat instead of cats. There we go. See, this is the problem with doing it manually. If you type it wrong, you mess things up. That's why the shortcode builder is so great. Cats, 6 and 7. Refresh. There we go. Light side, and we see only the light side guys. Looking good. Dark side guys. Nice. Lots of options here. This same thing works, if you check out the documentation, the same thing works with tags as well. We have cats, we have tags. You can enable or disable the pagination with the paged attribute. You can actually disable the form title if you like. That's not an option in the shortcode builder, but you can add the show title attribute and do true or false. You can adjust the image height. If you have maybe different image heights, you can deal with that this way. And the excerpt length we talked about, this one's also interesting because remember how we opened up Princess Leia's form and it showed that it was all done? Well, we can go down here and to the light side and we can change, let me zoom in. You can say status equals open. Update that. And now, ideally, what's going to happen is Princess Leia won't be there anymore. Although that's a bummer, it's great because she's all done. And all we want to do is encourage donations to the folks who are not done, right? So let's refresh the page. There it is. Now she's gone because she's all done. Now let's just focus on the folks who are not done. So we're both sorting these two things by the categories and by whether or not the form has reached its goal or not, whether or not it's open or not. So really super useful attributes there that are just in the hidden section that you have to do manually. All right. Cool. All right, I'm not seeing any questions yet. It means everybody's tracking. This is great. I'm going to get into a little bit more customization stuff. If you notice over here on the forms screen, one thing when you're dealing with lots of forms and dealing with grids like this and trying to categorize things, it can get a little bit unwieldy sometimes. So being able to kind of tame this form screen is really useful. So right now I've actually already set it up where I can show here that excerpt view. And this is something I find really useful because I want to be able to see whether or not a form has an excerpt or not. But there's so many columns here right now that it's hard for me to really manage this section very well. So I can just go click on the screen options up here and I can change some things. I'm actually not using tags, so I can just remove that. And the number of donations, I'm not really concerned about the number of donations. I want to see the income for sure. How much we're actually asking for on that form, I probably don't need that either. So I can pull that out. And you could see how all of a sudden this section is much more legible, much more readable. And really, in general, I'm actually not using the when it was published. I don't really care about which date the form was published. Shortcode, maybe I might use that in the future, so I'll leave that there. And we can just hit apply, and when the page refreshes, everything is saved correctly. And now every time I go to the forms page, it'll have this setup for me. There we go. Nice, huh? I like it. Much cleaner, much easier to manage. Another thing about this admin screen is sometimes you want to add different columns. Give does not manage the columns out of the box, and that's by design. That's just not something that we find to be in scope of our plugin specifically because there's actually a really great free plugin called Admin Columns that can help you do that. So I want to show really quick how you can customize that screen with the Admin Columns plugin. I already have it installed here, and I'm just activating it. It's just called Admin Columns, and the author is admincolumns.com. Now I'll come back over here, and I will refresh the screen. And now you can see that there is a new button here that says Edit Columns. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Oh, you can already tell that I edited here because this is my giveaway right here. I wanted to add the featured image. There it is. This is a nice little interface which will let me now to customize the columns for my donation forms. And you can see right here, I've already added the featured image. What's great about this option right here of adding the featured image too is you can adjust how large it is. So 80 pixels I think is a little too small. This slider is also a little unwieldy, so I'm just going to type it in, 150. And then the image size, I'm just going to choose the thumbnail. And actually, since that's 150, I'm going to do a little bit of padding. Let's make it 180 total. The total width of that column is going to be 180. And we'll use the thumbnail. We're going to update that. That looks great. We can also add other columns that are available. So let's look at what's available here. We can add who authored that form. The excerpt we already have. The date published we could have on our own. We could show the content if we wanted. That might be a little bit unwieldy also. We can show the shortcode, but that's already available as well. We can show the slug. Status, that's a good one. That one's not available by default. Because now we can see whether or not, like the Princess Leia one, that one's closed. So we're going to say auto, use an icon. Let's say no. Well, I could. Let's see. And I'm going to move it status. Let's move the status to be above the featured image. And actually, let's also move the featured image to be first. There we go. And now we hit update. All right, should be saved. View donation form screen. Nice. Doesn't that look great? I think that looks really nice. So we have our nice big featured image here. We have the title with the excerpt right here and our edit buttons. We have the categories, we have the goal, we have the income, and we have the status that we added. Let's see, right here, oh, this is the post status. So C3PO here is in draft status. That's interesting. Nice. So it's not actually the status of the form in particular, it's the status of that post type. Great. This looks good. Another thing you'll notice over here on our form grid is, honestly, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, they're kind of the stars of the show. But because of the publication date that I published each of these forms, they're showing up later. And I don't really love that, actually. I'd rather have them be top billing, right? So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring Princess Leia back, remove that status open, update that. And then I'm going to introduce you to another free plugin that's really useful for basically rearranging the order of your forms in any order that you like. There's several different free plugins that do this, but I have a favorite, and it's called Intuitive Custom Post Order. And I have it installed right here, and I'm just going to activate it. And now, I've also played with it already. It's going to have a saved order. When I refresh the page, you can see that it's going to be in a different order here. There we go. There it is. See? Now Princess Leia's already at the top, Luke Skywalker. It's because I changed these around earlier. But how you change them around is just simply, you notice that when I hover over the form, there's a little crosshair mouse now. I don't know if you can see that. But basically, you can just simply drag and drop. So let's put R2-D2 up above Yoda. There we go. Now you're done. It's reordered. You don't have to save anything. It's just done. So let's go check it out. Over here, it should show in this order specifically. Refresh the page. Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and yes, R2-D2 is in front of Yoda. Nice. This makes it really easy for you to put your grid in any order that you like. Great. It's a lot of fun. Taylor says, what a great way to customize your dashboard. Absolutely. You know, sometimes we forget about our admin experience, what it's like to actually deal with our content, deal with our website. We see WordPress and we just deal with it the way it is. And you don't have to do that. There's lots of ways that you can actually customize your dashboard in lots of different ways to make it easier for you to live with every single day and work with every single day. Totally true. Great. I do want to show another thing that's a little bit more for all of the developers out there. So I'm going to get into code a little bit. And essentially, the idea is that anything that is a Give shortcode can actually be customized similarly to how you customize your theme. So there are basically template files. Oh, I have a question. Lauren says, is the other plugin called Advanced Custom Columns? No, it's just called Admin Columns. Admin Columns. Let me grab the link to that real quick. Thanks for that question, Lauren. Admin Columns. Grab the link real quick. Let's see. I'm going to give this to Taylor to update for everybody. That's the link to Admin Columns. And she'll post it in the comments there. I'm going to load up my local site here. I'm going to grab some files in just a second. Okay. So if you can take a look here, this is a standard. So we're getting into more of the code side of things. And even if you aren't super familiar with code, it's good to understand how these things work. So you can help instruct anybody who's helping you with your site on the code side. This is a standard WordPress installation. You can see WP admin, WP content, WP includes, and I'm just going to go straight into WP content and plugins, and here is Give right here. And there are a few extra folders in here because I'm in my local development environment, but the one folder that you need inside the Give folder is templates. You open that up and you can see here all of our different shortcodes each have their own template, including the shortcode form grid right here. And like I was saying earlier, you can actually customize. Hi, Abdullah. Thanks for coming. It's always nice to have a nice warm hello. You can actually customize these shortcodes with through your theme, essentially. So I'm just going to basically copy. I'm going to do Control C and just copy that whole file. And I'm going to come over here to my theme, which right now I am running Storefront. And I already have a few things over here. But what you do, whatever theme you happen to be running right now, you should add a subfolder into that theme called Give. And any of the templates, any of the files that you find in that templates folder in the Give plugin, you can just simply drop into that Give subfolder in your theme, and you'll be able to customize it. So I select that, and I'm going to paste the shortcode form grid right in there. There it is. And what I always like to do is, as soon as I want to test to make sure things are getting customized correctly, is I'll usually just put in a test word somewhere. So over here we have give card body. Here's an H3, the give card title. I'm just going to say test before the form title, essentially. Just type test there. I'm going to save that. And if I come back over to our screen and I refresh, we should see the word test before every single form. There it is. Now I know that my form is actually working correctly. My customization of that template is working correctly. This is great. I like it. I have some more advanced customizations here. I'm going to grab real quick. Actually on GitHub. If anybody is familiar with our snippet library, it's a great place to find sample snippets of ways you can customize your Give installation. And over there, I have this one snippet I'm going to have to find. Let's see. Customize template. There it is. Form grid. Yeah. I'm going to, let's put this one in the comments. If you are a developer and you want to see how you can customize your shortcode template for the form grid, this is a great example. I am going to add a section here that shows the give, that shows the category. So I just copied that over. I'm going to go into my code. I don't want to go into too much detail on this. I just want to highlight what this does. So let's see right here. Basically what I'm doing is if there is a category available, then I'm going to output it as a paragraph. And I gave it a special class name. I'm going to save that, and you'll see if we come over to our form grid right now that you'll see that there is no category. But now I'll refresh the page. And there's still no category. Oop, did something wrong. Oh, I didn't get the, I know what I did wrong. I need to actually tell it where to get the categories from. Grabbing that super quick. All right. See up here, everything is defined. Here's my cats. Not actual cats, but categories. All right. And come over here now, and I'll refresh, and crossing our fingers. It's pretty simple code stuff, but there it is. Light side. Yay. Light side shows up. Come down here, dark side, bad guys. I need to change that name to dark side. But that looks great. Another thing I can do is I can actually output the category slug into the form grid. So then I can target that. So I'm going to just add this in here. And what that's going to let me do is now I can, the whole give grid wrapper has a unique class attached to it. And now I can use that unique class to target these unique elements. So for example, we can go over to the customizer now. I think my custom CSS is already there. We'll find out. Yep, there it is. So what I did here, I'm going to zoom in a bit. So because that whole wrapper has a unique class, I've searched for that class with a CSS selector, search for good guys, and then target the give card title, which is this one right here. Now all the good guys title color is blue. And then I'm going to search for the bad guys with that selector and their card title. I'm going to make theirs, you guessed it, black. That didn't work. So it's probably not bad guys. Let's see. Let's find out what that is. Let's see. Cat, bad guy. A little bit of a typo. It's the little things in code that matter, right? Update. If we just change it, you should see this change live, just like that. Boom. Red title, right? Just like that. Test Boba Fett is in red now. Bad guys are red. Good guys are blue. That looks nice. It's coming together. We could target the category title instead. Let's see, what is that one? That one is give form category. So change this to form category. And it's a little bit harder to tell because those are smaller text. We could do this, font weight 900. There we go. Now you can see that they're nice and big and blue. But down here, these ones haven't changed yet. So let's change this one to form category. Right? Bad guys, now it says red. We'll update the font weight. Bad guys. Nice and big and bold and red. Looking good. Got a question. Dan Tompkins. Hey, Matt, I came in late. Will there be a link to replay? Dan, absolutely. Yes, there will. Fortunately, with one of the great benefits of Facebook videos is that once the whole thing is over, you give it like maybe 5-10 minutes, and you can actually watch the whole thing from the very beginning all over again. What we're also going to do with these Facebook Live episodes is we're going to wait till it renders completely, and then we can actually download the video, and we will upload them to YouTube. And then later, probably next week sometime, we're going to write a post with a summary of the whole episode. So it's really trying to be accessible for everybody. The live events, folks who actually come to the live event, they get to actually ask the questions live. And especially if it's a subject that you're really interested in, that's a really useful thing to be able to do. So make sure and set your calendar and be ready to go, because that's the live event is where it's at. A lot of fun. Thanks for the question, Dan. All right, folks, that is the majority of the form grid stuff. We have a bunch of other great shortcodes that have some good uses as well, and you should check them out with that. You can see here we have, of course, our standard donation form. We now have a donation form goal. If you just want to show goals somewhere throughout your site, this is a great new shortcode that was introduced in 2.1 as well. We have our login and register shortcodes. We have a profile editor shortcode if you want to enable your donors to update their profile. That's super useful. The form grid we talked about extensively today. Donation history for shortcode, that gets actually created for you on install, but you can always move it somewhere else, and that's super useful. We have the donation receipt, and we have the give totals, which is also a new one, where you can actually show the totals of several forms anywhere on your site, and use that with if you wanted to show the total of several different forms. You can use that instead, or you want to show lots of different forms and their total altogether. That's a really useful shortcode as well. So great, everybody! I appreciate everybody being here, and this was a lot of fun. And I appreciate your questions. Watch next month. We're kind of finalizing it. You'll want to watch our social. But we're most likely going to have a guest in next month in July, and we're going to be talking a lot about Gutenberg, Give and Gutenberg together. That's going to be a great episode that you're going to want to watch for. Also, since we're on the subject of shortcodes, you probably also want to watch our blog and social updates, because the next version of Give that's coming out is going to be version 2.2, and in that version, we're going to have another new shortcode that's called the donor wall. And this is a feature that a lot of people have been asking for. And essentially, on your donation form, you're going to be able to enable to ask the donor, can I show your donation on our website? And they can say yes or no. And if they say yes, and you could set the default to be yes, then you'll be able to display your donor names and even an avatar of them, or a backup if they don't really have one, all on a grid. Show all of the donors and where they gave, and even amounts that they gave on the front end of your site. Really similar to how they do with GoFundMe and other popular crowdfunding type websites. It'll be a real similar functionality. That's something that a lot of people have been asking for a long time. And like anything with Give, we don't really like to just kind of push out just a simple little feature. We'd like to make sure that it's excellent and awesome. So it's a full-featured shortcode with lots of options. Especially, we want to make sure that your donors can opt out of it. That's really important for privacy purposes, that they're able to log out and check things out. So watch next month. We're going to be talking about Gutenberg here on Facebook. You're going to want to watch for our announcements about that and click that Get Reminder part. And then also you're going to want to make sure to watch for Give 2.2 coming out, and specifically for that donor grid feature, which a lot of folks have been asking for. So everybody, thank you so much again. This has been Give Live. We'll see you next month. Bye.